Door Zero, in the sprawling campus of Eastwind University, a prestigious institution with a history spanning over a century. The men's dormitory stood as a breeding ground for eerie legends and unspoken fears. The building, erected during the colonial era in the 1930s, had fallen into severe disrepair, resembling an aging body rotting from within. Its concrete walls, painted a dull grey, were marred by cracks and stains. The tiled roofs overgrown with moss, and the long corridors resembling dark veins where light seldom penetrated fully. Students often avoided lingering in the dorm after dark, not just because of the damp chill, but due to the rumors passed down through generations, like ghosts that refused to fade. The fifth floor was the most dreaded. The hallway stretched over 100 meters, lined on both sides with doors numbered from 501 to 520, each one weathered with peeling paint, revealing rotten wood beneath. Like the skin of a decaying corpse, fluorescent lights dangled from the high ceiling, emitting a pale green glow that flickered incessantly, like the labored breaths of a dying man. At night, wind whistled through cracks in the walls, carrying a musty scent mixed with damp earth and something indefinably rotten, evoking images of unearthed graves. Footsteps echoed far and wide on the old tiled floor, making it impossible to tell if they belonged to someone nearby or were mere illusions born of fatigue. And right in the middle of the hallway, between rooms 510 and 511, stood a peculiar door, a black one, unmarked, always locked with a rusted padlock, like an ugly scar on the building's face. Students across generations called it Door Zero. Liam Harper, a second-year literature major, was the central figure in this tale. Liam wasn't superstitious by nature, but his curiosity often overrode common sense. He lived reclusively, with few friends, staying up late into the night, reading or writing in his cramped room, 510-15, where the window overlooked the dense forest behind the dorm. His face was gaunt, eyes deep-set behind thick glasses, always wearing a thoughtful expression, as if unraveling life's mysteries. Liam had moved into the dorm at the start of the year, after his parents' mysterious car accident left him orphaned and grappling with persistent loneliness. From his first days, he heard whispers about Door Zero in the cafeteria or late-night gatherings. Victoria Ann, or Vic as she preferred, was Liam's classmate and the only person he confided in. Vic had an odd hobby, collecting and documenting bizarre rumors and ghost stories circulating on campus. She often sat in the corner coffee shop under ancient oaks, her worn leather notebook in hand, jotting down tales shared by fellow students. She wasn't tall, but her long dark hair and sharp, curious eyes made her stand out. "Liam, have you heard about Door Zero?" she asked him one rainy afternoon, as drops pattered on the awning, creating a damp, gloomy atmosphere. "They say if you see it open by chance, stepping inside means you'll never come back. Some think it's a spare door from construction errors. Others believe it leads to a hidden floor where time and space twist unnaturally." Liam smirked dismissively, but his interest was piqued. Vic explained that, according to lore passed orally through student generations, the door resulted from an architect's mistake in the 1940s during an expansion. They miscalculated, creating an extra space between rooms, and sealed it off to cut costs. But some, especially history buffs, believed it opened to a hidden floor, a parallel dimension where time warped. Upperclassmen claimed that on full moon nights, or precisely at 3:15 a.m., the witching hour, the door would creak open mysteriously, emitting childish laughter or soft footsteps from within. Kyle Mason, a senior in room 502, had witnessed it firsthand. Kyle was tall and tanned from basketball practice, but after a knee injury in his freshman year, he grew quieter, his face shadowed by melancholy. He shared with Liam and Vic in the dorm cafeteria under harsh neon lights. "I heard knocking from inside once, late at night, heading to the bathroom, the hallway empty, lights flickering, shadows twisting on the walls. Suddenly, from Door Zero, a soft tap-tap like fingernails on wood. I froze, heart pounding, then bolted back to my room." Asked Old Man Thorne the next day, but he just shook his head. Mr. Thorne, the elderly dorm caretaker with over 40 years on the job, was the most enigmatic figure. He'd worked there since his youth, now hunched and frail, with thinning white hair and cloudy eyes veiled by memories. He sat at the ground floor desk, puffing on a pipe and warning students hoarsely, "Don't wander at night. Kids, this dorm has things you shouldn't mess with. They'll swallow you whole." When Liam first inquired about Door Zero, Thorne stared intently before whispering, "It's no spare door, son. It's a gateway for lost souls, forgotten in this building's history. Stay curious, and you'll lose your life like the others." Those warnings only fueled Liam's intrigue. He began staying up later, prowling the 5th floor hallway in the wee hours when most slept. At first, all seemed ordinary. Wind whispering like spectral murmurs through door cracks, musty odors rising from the cracked tiles, and flickering lights casting elongated, distorted shadows on the stained walls. But soon, anomalies emerged, like omens from another realm. The first night, around 2 a.m., Liam heard footsteps. Not heavy adult strides, but light, pattering ones, like a child's playful scamper. They echoed from the hallway's end, approaching door 0 slowly, then halted abruptly, leaving dead silence. Liam cracked his door, peering out with a racing heart. The corridor was deserted, lights blinking faintly, and a sudden cold gust carried a foul stench, rotting meat mixed with wet soil. He shuddered, slammed the door, but sleep evaded him that night, haunted by vague visions. The next morning, Liam met Vic at the coffee shop, his face pale from insomnia. "I heard footsteps last night," he confessed shakily. Vic eagerly flipped open her notebook, eyes gleaming. "I've documented an old legend about that. In 1985, a student named Hugh in room 509 vanished after telling friends he'd heard kids running and saw door 0 ajar. They found a crumpled note in his room. I heard children laughing. They're calling my name from the dark. Police ruled it a runaway due to stress, but his friends swore he wasn't the type. They said he was pulled in by spirits." Vic shared more snippets she'd gathered, like puzzle pieces of horror. In 2003, upperclassmen held a midnight dare. Stand before door 0 at 3:15 a.m. for a cash prize. Only one joined Lena, a bold psychology major. She disappeared by morning. Her diary ended mid-sentence. Door cracked open. Inside, pitch black, but shadows flit by, no faces, just twisted grins. They're whispering my name. The entry cut off, ink smeared as if she'd been dragged away. These tales obsessed Liam. He started his own journal, mimicking Vic. The second night, he stayed awake till 3 a.m., ears straining in the stifling quiet. At exactly 3:15, laughter erupted, childish giggles, pure yet warped, like from a broken old radio. It emanated from door 0, echoing down the hall, making Liam's scalp prickle. He approached his door, pressing an ear to the wood, and the laughs clarified. He, come play with us, ... He backed away, sweat beading. Through the keyhole, he caught a whiff of decay, moldy dampness laced with putrid flesh, like an ancient tomb unsealed. "I think I'm imagining it," he told Kyle the next day in the cafeteria. Kyle shook his head gravely. "No way, Liam. I've smelled that before. Like old death, buried for decades. Thorne told me during construction, a worker's kid fell into the void between floors. They couldn't recover the body, it was too deep and dark, so they sealed it with the black door. But the child's ghost lingers, waiting for someone to replace it." Kyle's story chilled Liam, but he dismissed it as embellished folklore to scare freshmen. Yet an invisible fear crept in, like slow poison. He tried avoiding the hallway at night, focusing on studies and writing, but curiosity drew him back irresistibly. The third night was a full moon, its silvery light filtering through windows, turning the hallway into a realm of ghostly silhouettes. Liam sat awake, notebook ready. At 3:15, knocking began, not at his door, but from the corridor. Tap, tap, tap. Gentle, persistent, like an invitation laced with malice. Heart thumping, he opened his door and nearly screamed. Door 0 was ajar. A narrow gap, but enough for inky darkness to spill out, devouring surrounding light. No beam penetrated inside, as if it were an endless abyss. Liam edged closer, legs trembling on the icy floor. From the slit, laughter resumed, closer than ever. "Play with us, ... Liam, ... A childish voice whispered, innocent yet laced with resentment, uttering his name. He recoiled, slamming his door and bolting it. All night, the knocking persisted, the stench intensifying. Morning found him seeking Thorne at the desk. The old man eyed him pityingly. "You've seen it, haven't you? Don't go back, Liam. Those aren't innocent kids. They're forgotten entities, buried in this building's past, victims of wars, accidents, dark secrets. They open on full moons to find replacements, freeing their souls. You're curious, they love types like you." Thorne's warning came too late. That night, Liam couldn't sleep. He resolved to confront the mystery, end the obsession. He recruited Vic and Kyle. Vic was thrilled, eyes sparkling. "I'll document everything. This could be a real ghost story, a living legend." Kyle hesitated but agreed warily. "Fine, but at the first weird sign, we bolt. I don't want to die over dumb curiosity." They gathered in the hallway at 3 a.m., the air thick like a storm cloud. Wind howled fiercely, carrying the nauseating rot, making Vic cover her nose. Lights flickered wildly, shadows clawing the walls like spectral hands. At 3:15, door 0 creaked wider. Footsteps sounded inside, not one set, but many, chaotic like kids at play in the void. Shadowy figures darted across the gap, vague, faceless, with only crooked smiles flashing briefly. Liam approached closest, voice quavering. "Who's there? Show yourself." Laughter answered, and suddenly, a small, pallid hand emerged from the crack, seizing his wrist. Ice cold, nails sharp as claws raking skin. Liam yelled in pain, but the hand yanked hard, dragging him into the swirling dark. Vic and Kyle screamed, rushing to pull him back. In that fleeting moment, Liam glimpsed inside, an infinite corridor repeating eternally. Twisted figures with eyeless faces, mouths grinning with jagged teeth. They were forgotten, souls-dead children, vanished students, merged in resentful chaos. With desperate strength, Kyle yanked Liam free, but the door slammed shut, locked as if untouched. Liam collapsed, wrist scarred and bleeding. From then, he changed, silent eyes vacant, muttering at night, "They're still calling me, ... The next day, Vic found Liam's notebook in his room, the last page unfinished, door open. Inside isn't a hidden floor, but another world where time halts. "They're calling my name. They want me forever. I see twisted faces, forgotten souls. They're laughing, and that laugh ... is pulling me in." The entry ended there. Liam vanished, days later, traceless. Vic chronicled it all but never shared. Kyle left the dorm, living reclusively. Thorne remained at his post, warning newcomers hoarsely, "Don't pry into door 0, lest it swallows you." The hallway endures, quiet by day, but on full moons at 3:15 a.m. Listen closely, you might hear childish laughter from the black door, calling for the curious. Forgotten legends and flashbacks. To grasp Liam's deepening obsession, delve into the legends Vic compiled over years. These weren't mere rumors but documented via old emails from alumni, deleted forum posts deemed sensitive, and handwritten letters unearthed from the dorm's dusty archives, guarded by thorn-like treasures. The first legend dated to 1952, post-war reconstruction. Engineer Mr. Hayes, involved in the build, wrote in his faded leather journal, now secretly stored in the university library today. Inspecting floor 5, we found an odd void between rooms, not on blueprints, like intentional hidden space. Inside, pitch dark. My flashlight caught moving shadows, like wandering spirits. We sealed it with the black unmarked door to avoid issues. That night, I dreamed of children buried alive there, victims of an old collapse from colonial times. They wailed, calling my name. The journal surfaced after Hayes' unexplained disappearance weeks later. His family received an anonymous letter in shaky script. I opened the door. "They've welcomed me home forever. Don't search." Thorne recounted this to Kyle one late night, pipe smoking. Hayes was the first, curious like you, and they took him. Second tale from 1970 involved activist students using the dorm as a hideout against the draft. They met on floor 5 for secret discussions. Member Todd vanished post-meeting. Friends found a dusty scrap in his room. Door 0 open. Voices from the past calling. Forgotten souls want to share their stories of unjust deaths in wars. They're pulling me in to join them. The group dissolved, avoiding the floor for years. Vic emailed a surviving member, now in his 70s. Todd was bravest, but bravery didn't save him from the dark. I still hear his whispers in dreams. Don't open it. Closer to home, from 1995, alumnus Phil, now a professor elsewhere, told Vic via phone, saw it open on a full moon. Inside, no room but endless hallway, doors repeating forever. Cries, laughs, deathly stench. Closed it just before the cold hand touched me. But nightmares persist, they chase me, faceless shapes. These stories hooked Liam like addiction. In sleepless nights, he flashed back to his parents' accident, the car plunging into woods without brake marks. Maybe they were called by something unseen too, he pondered. He researched dorm history in the library, poring over dusty docs. A 1940 blueprint showed a reserve void on floor 5, perhaps wartime storage. Forgotten post piece. Rumors said it hid during conflicts, where people including kids perished from collapses or starvation. The night before vanishing, Liam scribbled frantically, "Door 0 isn't spare. It's a portal to a parallel realm where time freezes and grudges fester. Trapped souls need living replacements to escape." Childish laughs bait. Icy hands invite death. I must enter for truth. As the trio assembled, tension was palpable, air slippable, wind shrieked, rot overwhelming, lights nearly extinguishing. Liam, stay back, Vic whispered, clutching her notebook, heart pounding. But Liam was entranced by the door's allure. It gaped wider, darkness roiling like smoke, footsteps chaotic, whispers, enter, play with us, ... Liam, ... The hand shot out, gripping his wrist, flesh frigid, claws tearing. Liam screamed, body dragged in. Vic and Kyle lunged, hauling back desperately. Briefly, Liam saw, endless hall, malformed entities, eyeless with toothy smirks, chanting his name ceaselessly. Door slammed. Liam gone into void. Vic fled to her room, scrawling. Liam pulled in, heard his scream, then silence. Kyle fetched Thorn, who muttered, too late. Door 0 chooses the curious like Liam. Now, knocking at my door. 3:15 a.m, it's calling me. Laughter closer, ... Vic's notes ended there. She vanished soon after. Notebook found bloodstained and reeking. The dorm stands, door 0 locked. But if you're a new student, up late on floor 5, listen, childish laughter may call your name and once heard, no escape.